Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Get ready to rumble!
Pump up the G, yo, pump it up, yo, pump it.
Y'all ready for this? What the hell are you doing? This is supposed to be a video about Magnus, not bloody Hondas!
Let's get ready to rumble!
Y'all ready for this?
I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. Yeah, move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. Give it up.
Welcome to the big show.
Well, I'm on the freeway coming home from Sydney to Newcastle, and I'm running low on petrol, and I haven't got any money to buy any. Checking the fuel gauge, I can see on the ute that I'm not going to get home. I got plenty of petrol in this Magna, which I didn't use because I didn't race today, and that's another story. But the problem is, I've got to get the fuel out of this car into the ute. On Hondas, they have, and many other cars, they have a bung in the bottom of the tank that you can undo. The Magna has no bungs in the bottom of it. So somehow I've got to get the petrol out of this and into the ute. I thought you might be interested to see how I do this in case you ever get into a similar situation. I haven't got a funnel or any tubes to transfer the fuel, so I'm going to have to make do. What can I find on the side of the freeway? I reckon I can make a funnel out of this. The fuel filler spout on the ute has got a little flap inside it. So I'm going to stick this bit of coat hanger wire in and jam it open. And I found this soft drink bottle on the side of the road, which I'm going to turn into a funnel. Cut the top out on the side, and that'll go in there. I've disconnected the main fuel line from the engine, and I'm going to use the engine itself as a pump the fuel into this bottle that I've got off the side of the road and cut the top out of. Just make sure you wash your bottles out with a little bit of petrol first, because you don't want water or dirt in either of these containers. Well, that's me fixed. I've got enough petrol now, I can get home. I thought you might enjoy that little trick. I've got a hill climb coming up at one of our most prestigious events at King Edward Park by the ocean in a couple of weeks. And they like the cars to be well presented, and I know they won't like that front bar. That's the way the car came when I bought it from the salvage auction, so I'm going to replace it. But I'm going to see if I can replace it with something I've got tucked away in the shed that someone's given me rather than put the standard bar on. This is a slightly damaged front bar that my nephew Derek gave me of his Nissan 200 SX. I think I can make it fit, and I can certainly repair it. One of my American subscribers was asking me how he could customise his American version of the Magna called the Diamante, and this is certainly an easy way to do it. Well, a little bit of adjustment, And I reckon that bar is going to fit perfectly by the time I'm finished with it. The first thing I've had to do is to position the bar at exactly the height that I want it. I was sure, because this is a bar designed for a Nissan rather than a Mitsubishi, that I'd have to add panel work or cut out significant pieces of it, but I haven't had to do that at all. I only had to do a little bit of trimming in the back here to clear this inner bumper bar on the Magna. The way this originally mounted was to have brackets in through here where the mesh is, but the problem with that is you've got to take the mesh in and out every time you want to take the bar on and off. So instead of that, I'm going to put my mounting brackets up here so that I can do that and leave the mesh glued in all the time. I've made these mounting brackets up and I've drilled big holes in them. What I'm going to do is screw them temporarily in place on the car and put epoxy or araldite glue to glue them onto the bar. And then what I'll do is take the bar off and fiberglass these brackets onto the bar. That way I'll have 3 mounting points here and I won't have to fiddle around with the mesh. This is the way the brackets go on the bar, and I want the epoxy glue to go from the bumper bar that's going to sit on top here through those holes, but I don't want it all to leak out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a bit of masking tape underneath there, and that'll allow the epoxy to go through those holes, lock it onto the bar and stop there, and then I can put fiberglass over the top. So here's the bracket as it'll sit. The bolt will go through there into the car. This bit will go to the bumper bar, and there's the masking tape to stop the epoxy glue falling all the way through as I glue it on temporarily. To thicken this epoxy and to give it a bit more body, I'm just chopping up some scrap fiberglass and mixing that in, and that'll give it the epoxy more body and strength, and it'll thicken it up a bit as well, as you'll see. It's just a gooey paste. That won't tend to run so much. You probably remembered me doing this on this Magna when I repaired the hole in the gearbox, which, by the way, is still holding up perfectly. Well, there's the bracket temporarily epoxied in place. And the second one. And the third one. Well, it's the next day and I've taken the bar off. And you can see the brackets that I've put on. This is obviously upside down now. And that one's taken alright. That bracket's taken alright. This one's a bit hanging in cyberspace, so I'll just bog these in with some car filler and fiberglass chop before I put the fiberglass right over the top on those pieces at the back. As always, the key to getting good adhesion with both the bog and the fiberglass is to clean the fiberglass bar with acetone. I'm just repairing this split in the bar. Remembering this bar's upside down at the moment. And you've seen me do this before. Just to hold it in position. A couple of clamps will do it. This is the rear side of the split. applying fiberglass cloth and poly resin to completely tie these brackets into the fiberglass front bar. So my new brackets will be really strongly attached. I'm going to add a splitter to that front bar, and I'm going to start with this scrap plywood that I've got. For the grill on the front bar, I've got this sheet of mesh designed for a front security door. The whole thing cost me $50 for the entire sheet at my local aluminium wholesaler. I would have paid a lot more for this if I'd gone to an auto shop and bought little bits of brightly coloured mesh. Time for battle! This time, don't talk to me. Put your line of sight there.
Right.
So I'm here, but you're looking there.
Right.
And louder, James, come on. Angrier.
You want to really be in trouble?
Yeah, I want to jump out of the chair with fright.
What the hell are you doing? This is supposed to be a video.
Take three. Welcome to the collection.
I'm not getting paid enough for this.
Yes, you are.